In the realm of financial wisdom, there exists a beacon of hope named Dave Ramsay. With unwavering belief in the transformative power of disciplined money management, he unveils the 5 sacred rules that hold the key to unlocking financial freedom.
If you do these 5 things from the Bible and from your grandmother, they're called common sense, you will win with money.
Ramsay's voice reverberates through the room, cutting through the noise of financial confusion like a clarion call.
We all need a good financial planning, clear path.
With every word, he unravels the mysteries of wealth accumulation, inviting his listeners on a transformative journey through financial independence. With each word, Ramsay unravels the tangled threads of financial missteps, shining a light on the pitfalls that have ensnared so many.
I don't know exactly how long it will take you, and I don't know what win with money will mean, because I cannot predict your income, and I cannot predict the tragedy that you will have to overcome.
He reminds us that the journey to financial success is not solely about numbers and spreadsheets, but about the choices that we make and the behaviors that we cultivate.
Well, the actual completion of the degree won't matter. But what does matter is the knowledge base.
With an unwavering belief in the resilience of the human spirit, Ramsay inspires his listeners to rise above adversity and embrace a mindset of abundance. He reminds them that despite the challenges that they may face, they pose the inner strength and resourcefulness to overcome any obstacle.
Now, if you don't want to do that, that's okay. You probably shouldn't listen to this show. It's what we're doing all the time here. We're trying to take you from wherever you are to wealthy. Wealthy and stable, for that matter. Not only getting out of debt, but there's a reason to get out of debt. You get out of debt so that you can retire with dignity.
As Ramsay's discourse unfolds, he paints a vivid picture of the transformative power of financial literacy. He unveils the profound impact that a solid understanding of money can have on every aspect of our lives.
If you're going to run a business and you've had more classes on accounting, more classes on marketing, more classes on statistical analysis, more classes, standard business classes on finance, and so on, the better decisions you're going to make. You have better tools in your belt to do your job running the business later. Today, I would not worry about it.
When you spend your whole freaking life giving your money to banks who fill up the skyline and have furniture nicer than yours, that makes you stupid. Get out of debt. When you don't have any payments, you know what you've got? Money. Do I care if you get out of debt? Yes, I want you to win. I want you to have a great life. But do I care if you agree with me? No. I don't care if you agree with me. If you don't agree with me about this money stuff, you're what's known as wrong. I've been doing this longer than most of my critics. They were peeing in their diaper while I was doing this stuff. They're wrong. Live on less than you make. Number 3. In the house of the wise are stores of choice food and oil, but a foolish man devours all that he has. If you spend everything you make, you're a fool. Well, Dave, you don't know about my situation in America today. Wages are stagnant. So why are they stagnant at your house? You know where wages are stagnant? On people who are stagnant. You're only got stagnant wages if you decide to stay there and keep getting those wages. This is not Russia. You can quit. I don't like how much Walmart pays. I don't like how much McDonald's pays. So don't work there, stupid. Go to work for somebody else. I don't like how my company treats me, so leave. Go be somebody. There's no reason that you have to be stuck somewhere because some liberal journalist said you were stuck. You're not stuck. We know you need to be out of debt and have an emergency fund. That's foundational. Any of us in the financial planning arena know that. It's foundational. And we know you need to be investing to be able to build wealth. That's foundational. And we know your mortgage is big, so paying that off, it's foundational. So just the question was how to put those in an order that was practical and applicable that actually worked. And that's where the baby steps were born. And you know the reason that they've been so successful, why the book, The Total Money Makeover, which is basically the baby steps on steroids, why it's been so successful is because it's a clear path and it's based on basic financial planning logic. And it works. And so even my friends in the financial planning community that don't like me grudgingly admit that the baby steps is freaking genius. And because it is. It is. Not because I'm genius, but because it's a clear path, and we all need a clear path to do whatever it is we're going to succeed at. What are the things I need to do to get to winning if I'm not winning? What's the steps? What's the clear path? We all need that. You don't want to be stagnant. You get scummy. You need to go be somebody. You need to leave the cave, kill something, and drag it home. You need to decide that my life is not good enough the way it is, and so I am going to control the controllables. I am going to change some things. Because guess what? Nobody in Washington is going to fix your life. Santa Claus doesn't live there, baby. Have you noticed that the Democrats and the Republicans, neither one could freaking add? Have you ever had any of them send you money? No. They are not going to fix your freaking life. You are going to fix your life. You're going to get on a plan. You're going to get out of debt. You're going to live on less than you make. And then you're going to save some money. You know how rich people get rich? They save money. Wow. I don't know if I agree with Dave Ramsey's investment assumptions. I don't give a crap if you agree with my investment assumptions. You know what my investment assumption is? My assumption is you're going to be broke until you save money. That's my assumption. You need to get up off your assumption and go do something. You need to get up off your assumption and start investing some money. 100% of the people that don't save money don't have any. Wow, how's that for insight? Doesn't take a freaking rocket scientist to figure this out. You know what the problem on your investments are? The problem with your investments is not your rate of return. It's not your expense ratio. It's not no load versus load. It's not your nerdy, twisted up, toxic butt opinion about some investment. Your problem with your investments is you don't have any. That's the problem with your investments. 100% of the people that build wealth save money on purpose a lot. Some people do it poorly in a stupid money market account and make no money on their money. Others do it wisely in mutual funds that outperform the S&P, or real estate that they pay cash for that outperforms the S&P. Others are just passive and do the S&P, and they all write books about it and all have a freaking opinion and make money off of you while you're stagnant. That's stupid. Don't be stagnant. Invest money, save money. You know how you're going to do that? You're going to be on a plan. You're going to get up out of debt. You're going to live on less than you make, and voila, there is money in the budget. It's called margin, baby. And now you got the money to be rich. You got to act like rich people, and that's not go spend a bunch of money, moron.
But there's plenty of people run very successful businesses with less education than you've currently got.
Right.
You also,
Right.
but the other part of this is you want to commit, if you're in anything, but particularly in business, and it's true in medicine and law, other things, you want to commit to being a lifelong learner, a reader. You need to read business books, leadership books, and books on entrepreneurship, and you need to constantly be reading and growing. And college doesn't when you get out of school, if you stop learning then, in just a few years, you're irrelevant. So you have to keep reading and growing and learning all the time. You have to keep adding to your knowledge base as you go. If you keep doing that, you'll be fine. And then if you wanted to go back and finish up your bachelor's, you're probably not that far out from finishing it. That's a fine thing to do. And some of the class work that you do to get that would be valuable to you in running the business. I have a 4-year degree is all I have. I'm not got a master's, and but I'm a lifelong learner in addition to that. And so I've probably got several PhDs in terms of the amount of information I have ingested in the 35, 40 years I've been doing business. And so that's what you're looking at. You're trying to learn, trying to grow, and trying to add to it. But my basic 4-year degree was very helpful. For that matter, still very helpful. A lot of those basic things, basic accounting understanding and GAAP principles and, finance principles are things I use on the air here every day. My job is to not make them sound like gobbledygook. Instead, put the cookies on a shelf where everybody can reach them. But I'm using the concepts and the critical thinking skills that we were taught in our academic education. So education's valuable. Is it mandatory where you slap your fist on the table and say, you're not going to be successful unless you go back right now? No.
But the moral of this story is not the bundle. The moral of the story is develop a clear path to something. Find someone that has a clear path to it. You're wanting to lose weight? What's the clear path to losing weight? You want to improve your marriage? What's the clear path to improving your marriage? What do? Do this, and then find a proven process, a proven plan, and then don't try to fix it. Because if you already had it figured out, you'd already be there. So don't fix somebody else's clear path, somebody else's process that's already working. Have you ever had anything more aggravating than, a friend of yours asks you to lunch and says, hey, I'm having trouble in my marriage, what do you think? And then you tell them and they don't do any of it. And yet you've got a great marriage and theirs is on the rocks. And you go, dude, the way you talk to her, no wonder. You treat her like dirt, man. What's your deal? And then you don't change. Nothing worse than giving somebody advice and they don't change. It doesn't do any good. It's wasting my time. I've had friends and relatives over the years that say, I want your opinion about this. And then they go do none of it. So the next time they want to take up my time for my opinion about something, I'm not as available. You know what I'm saying? So when you find something that works, submit yourself to it. Submit yourself to it.
I think you go make some money and get your, get a little nest egg put back, get yourself out of debt, get your emergency fund in place. And if you want to save up and pay for classwork and do some evening work as you go, you're going to be fine. And learn the business from your dad, learn the business from other people in the business, learn best practices, get involved in stuff like entree leadership, some of the other things that people have out there where you're growing and learning as a leader, and those things, you'll be just fine. You'll be just fine. Lots of people with high school educations or even less have been very successful in business. There's a lot more to it than simply getting a degree. What would I do if I were in your shoes? And I have read, 20, 25 studies with all kinds of data points in them that indicate all of them conclusively that people who are married get along better than people who are shacked up when it comes to money. And people who are married versus being shacked up actually statistically become wealthier on average. Now there's exceptions, obviously, but there's a tremendous data out there that talks about the benefits of marriage. Now, I look at that as a Christian, through a moral lens as well, but that's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about just the practical data points that say that your relationship functions better in that situation. It's a little different telling your girlfriend what to do than it is your wife. It's a little different telling your husband what to do than your boyfriend. Or when something's important to you. I think we should do this, but there's not really a we. I think we need to get on a budget and we need to save for retirement, but there's not really a we, not legally speaking. And for that matter, not spiritually speaking. And data says not relationally speaking. So you leave yourself at a disadvantage there. So you asked, so I'll just tell you. I think part of the problem is marriage. So I think you get married, and part of your pre-marriage counseling, even though you've been together for a bazillion years, you ought to sit down with a good pastor, a good marriage coach, a good marriage counselor, and get pre-marriage counseling. Should include, let's get on the same page with money. As a matter of fact, we've been interviewing millionaires here on the air and been doing some millionaire theme hours, asking them how they became millionaires. And virtually every one of them did not inherit wealth,
Virtually every one of them became millionaires by living on less than they make, saving and investing. Very few of them ever made over $200,000 in their lifetime, household income in a year. The vast majority of them were the tortoise, not the hare. 88% of American millionaires are first-generation rich. That means about 9 out of 10 people that are millionaires started with nothing and became a millionaire. I am amazed that when, for instance, today I tweeted that statistic, 88% of American millionaires are first-generation rich, that there is always a group of people that want to argue about that don't believe that, and that well, they had a head start. Well, they had white privilege. Well, they had this. Well, they had that. Well, their mama knew somebody or whatever. There's always some kind of thing. And I used to really get shocked by the huge pushback against believing that you can win in America today. And, what I came to understand was two things. One is that some people have their heads stuck so far up their politics that they can't think anymore. They don't know how to do critical thought. And they actually just believe the party line, so to speak, whether it's far right or far left. In this case, it would be the socialist bunch.